has been ordered for Rogelio Canilao. He's accused of fatally beating his ex-wife in 2022 at her Sheridan Street apartment. Yesterday's order from the judge comes after Canilao was ruled mentally unfit for trial last year. A panel of 3 experts will now reassess. An important ruling from a state appeals court in a permit fight for a Kauai corn seed producer. Environmentalists hope it will finally make the state evaluate the impact of herbicides and pesticides there. Daryl Huff has more.
Syngenta is one of several companies taking advantage of Hawaii's climate to test and grow herbicide-resistant corn seed. The issue is whether there should have been an environmental assessment when it was issued its permits.
The environmental and potential public health impacts have really never been well studied in this area, and that's really why we filed the lawsuit.
The 61-acre parcel of state land in Kekaha is a sliver of Syngenta's 4,000 acres in Hawaii, and when it was converted from sugar to herbicide-resistant seed production, the land board didn't consider it a significant enough change to require an environmental study.
For a long time, that parcel has been used to propagate basically the sugarcane saplings, and it was shifted to this experimental seed operation, which heavily relies on restricted use pesticides.
In court filings, the Attorney General argued the board's action here merely preserved the status quo and had no effect on the environment. But in this ruling, the Intermediate Court of Appeals said there were genuine issues of material fact on whether Syngenta Hawaii's proposed activity was exempt from the preparation of an EA.
We thought that the board should have never granted Syngenta exemption from environmental review, and we're grateful that the courts are now have agreed with us.
There will be hopefully environmental review of the activities that are on these parcels that basically affect beach users, affect the people who use the drag strip, and the nearby residences, particularly the restricted use pesticides.
Environmental attorney Lance Collins says the state has lost the same argument before over things like water rights and harvesting fish for aquariums and other commercial uses. But he says the state hasn't changed its approach.
Apparently, environmental protection, which is a constitutional right that everybody in Hawaii has, is not a top priority, for the Attorney General.
The Attorney General's office said it is still reviewing the ruling. Syngenta did not respond to our request for comment. It's now up to a circuit court judge whether to order the land board to reconsider the permit. Daryl Huff, Hawaii News Now.
Maui County is trying to fill 600 vacant positions by making it easier for applicants. The county has begun offering one-stop recruitment opportunities where people can apply and be interviewed at the same time. MPD is looking to hire 200 employees, while Public Works and the Parks Department both have dozens of openings.
If everyone who complains about the county just said, hey, actually, I want to come and help, that would make a huge difference in how the county functions.
It's been tough for many workers since the August fires, but the county's unemployment rate has fallen back down to 4.8%. To look at the current openings and to apply, head to hawaiinewsnow.com.
On Tuesday's Spotlight Now, members of Honolulu's Salary Commission joined Yunji and Ryan here in the H&N Digital Center. Here's some of that conversation.
On the last episode of Spotlight Now, we caught up with members of the Honolulu Salary Commission who discussed their reasoning into the somewhat controversial decision last year to give lawmakers and council members that 64% raise.
Yeah, they explained that they were trying to bring Honolulu up to other municipalities of similar size, saying that by their estimation, council members were underpaid by 51%.
And that decision also drew some pushback from not only members on the council, but from the community as a whole. We spoke to those who were here in our studio today to get their take on how some of that negativity was received by members on the commission.
For me, it was really hard to watch. I definitely watched some of the rhetoric. I saw memes. I saw really mean memes come to the council members who were accepting the recommendation. I think I saw internally within the council things that were not okay. There was bullying.
I saw it sort of from a place of people feeling so frustrated that it's, sitting behind, keyboards and feeling a little bit maybe frustrated and letting that frustration out. I would have loved to see more of it come to a place where, like, let's sit down. We're people. We're all people. We're volunteers, right? We all just care about our community, and maybe we have different ideas about what that looks like, but let's just have a conversation.
Ultimately, the commissioners say they hope that the pay raises will lead to better candidates and more diversity on the Honolulu City Council. We also got a chance today to talk to UH political analyst Colin Moore about his thoughts on the legislative session.
If you miss any part of Spotlight Now, we encourage you to go back and watch it on the platforms of Hawaii News Now. Joining us next week, we'll be joined by Governor Josh Green.
We hope to see you Tuesday at 1 o'clock on K5.
After a quiet couple of days, there's been more unrest at Kilauea. About 230 earthquakes were recorded in a 24-hour period from Monday to Tuesday. Most were in the Upper East Rift Zone, with some being monitored in the caldera south of Halema'uma'u. Most have been below 2.0 in magnitude. Scientists say it's unclear if an eruption will happen, but it is possible. Well, you have the exciting chance to catch some world-class surfing in Waikiki. We're talking about the Adaptive Surfing Contest being hosted by Access Surf. Casey Lunn gives us a preview.
Aloha from Waikiki. The actual competition is happening Monday through Wednesday of this coming week down at Queen's Surf Break, but we're here at the Duke Kahanamoku statue talking about all the excitement around the competition and Access Surf in general, which has grown in the time that it was founded by a gentleman, co-founder, I should say, Rich Julian, an adaptive surfer. We also have Victoria Feige, a Canadian surfer here, one of our international surfers. We're going to talk to Victoria in a moment about the challenges and the fun that come with traveling for competition and preparing and also growing this sport for women. But first, I want to start with Rich and just talk to me generally about the World Championships. It happens every year. I'm sure it sneaks up right up on people. What should folks know if they want to come down? You guys are always looking for volunteers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a couple of different areas to help with that we always need help with. Transfers into the water safety, help with the merchandise, but really we just want to be involved and engage with the community and grow our ohana. So
speaking of that ohana and growing, it's grown exponentially since you folks started Access Surf here. How cool has it been to see? And I think we have athletes from 18 countries coming here to Waikiki, correct?
Yeah, the first heats we ran here was with Duke's Ocean Fest in 2007, and we started with one amputee, one paraplegic, a kid with cerebral palsy, and out of that, we've grown 9 divisions and grown all around the world. So the growth has been incredible. So we've basically, just really looking to spread it all around the world and get these programs everywhere.
Very good. So if you don't mind operating the mic for our friend Victoria Feige, because she's got her beautiful board here this morning or today with us. Victoria, a Canadian surfer, and I want to ask you a little bit about when you get ready for one of these big competitions, what's it like traveling? How early do you come? Are you trying to get in the water as much as you can? Tell us a little bit about your prep going into an event like this.
Oh, myself and so many of the athletes get here maybe about a week early to practice at the competition zone and also to get acclimatized. And also these competition sites in Australia and Hawaii, Costa Rica and California, it's these iconic surf spots that you want to go to and travel to. And we're building the tour, and it's fun to be in Waikiki and with our community. It's just amazing being here.
Yeah, I want to ask you too, I think that there is an effort always to incorporate more people and more women into this sport too. Have you seen that grow in the past years?
Absolutely. My first competition, there were 7 girls across all the different divisions, and now we're, I think, almost at 100 now, getting so many more girls and women and also guys into the sport. When I first started, I had no idea adaptive surfing was a thing. I just went surfing with my friends, and it wasn't until I met the adaptive surf community that I really met my people and progressed in my surfing and then got custom boards. And I think that if more men and women got involved and got to meet us, they would realize surfing is for them with or without a disability.
Very good. Victoria Feige with us, Rich Julian from Access Surf. Thank you so much for your time today. We want to remind you, as Victoria is saying, this is a really inclusive group. They're always working to bring more people in. They always need volunteers, of course, like any nonprofit. They also could use any other support, donations, and the like. So we have all the information, their website. They also have some kind of cool events coming up later in the year in August. You can check all that out at HawaiiNewsNow.com. For now, we'll send things back into the studio.
Thank you, Case. All right, it's Wednesday. That means it's time for our weekly crime roundup. Joining us now is Honolulu Crime Stoppers Sergeant Chris Kim. First, you have an update on one of the crimes that you reported on our news station.
Yeah, I'm actually happy to report. I actually want to thank the public as well as the media, especially you folks, for sharing our story regarding that sex assault case where an elderly victim was sexually assaulted in the Pearl City area. After we featured this case and the various media outlets, including yourself as well as the other social media pages, shared the story, witness saw the suspect over, I believe this is either Wahiwa or Wailua area, and notified police right away. The suspect was positively identified and placed under arrest for sex assault in the 4th degree. But it's just a classic case where the media gets involved, the community pays attention, a witness sees the suspect and notifies the police, and thankfully we were able to get justice for the victim. So thank you so much to the public as well as the media in helping us to solve this case.
Fantastic.
All right. And Chris, you do have some cases for us today. Tell us about those.
Yeah, as far as the first case, it's unauthorized entry in the motor vehicle in the 1st degree, which happened in the IA area on Sunday, April 21st, 2024 at about 4:40 a.m. This unknown male broke into the complainant's vehicle, which was parked over on Kaunoi Street, and took property from within. He's been described as an unknown male with a medium build. He had possible tattoos on his left arm. He was dressed all in black. We also use this as a learning tool that just kind of let the public know that this is happening. So if you're going to park your vehicle anywhere, even on a public street or maybe even your driveway, just to make sure that there's nothing valuable inside, especially within eyesight. A lot of times these people are driving around and kind of casing out vehicles, looking inside to see if there's anything to take. And it's just quickly as a matter of seconds for them to break in and take your property.
And this next one comes from Halava.
Yeah, so as far as this one, on Friday, April 19, 2024, about 4:28 a.m., these two males broke into the Hawaii Media Incorporated over at Halava Valley Street and took various properties, which included 6 Honda generators, lights, and various tools, and then loaded them into a white Ford Transit van, unknown license plate, which is rented by the Hawaii Media Company. Both suspects are being described as unknown. We do have this video posted, and I'll give the details later.
All right. And this last one is actually not surveillance video. It's a picture. What can you tell us about this?
Yeah, as far as this case, it's assault in the 2nd degree. So on Thursday, March 28, 2024, at about 1:40 a.m., this male right here physically assaulted the victim, causing him to sustain some serious injuries. He's being described as an unknown male wearing a baseball cap, gold necklace, black tank top. A witness who saw this confrontation happening didn't get involved physically per se, but was able to get a good a good picture of the suspect. We've had various tips come in through social media. This thing was initially shared on different social media platforms, and someone was able to submit some information, but we're still asking for the public. If you know who this person is, please submit your tip anonymously through Crime Stoppers at 808-955-8300 or via our website at www.honolulucrimestoppers.org or via the P3 Tips app. All 3 cases that we talked about can be seen over at the www.honolulupd.org website, bottom left-hand corner, under wanted persons, as well as other cases that we need the help from the community in solving.
Sergeant Chris Kim, thank you so much for your work. And remember, keep that number handy. Let's send you live outside now to Kilauea, where there has been more and more earthquakes in recent days, but scientists say there are no eruptions just yet. Stay with us. We'll have more news after this break.
How's it on this Wednesday? We'll likely see lighter winds today along with a few more scattered showers. So we're still not talking about a lot of rain until this disturbance drops into the state sometime Friday night into Saturday. Friday night into Saturday, we could get some heavy rainfall, especially for the east end of the state. But for today, you can see we're starting out fairly dry this morning. But again, look for a few more stray showers, although the rainfall will likely be on the light side. And the winds will run rather slow as well. We'll have a trade wind breeze today, but those winds will be slow enough that we could get some afternoon clouds and a few afternoon showers. Rainbows as well, especially in the morning time. But otherwise, should be a pretty nice day today with a fair bit of sunshine for leeward sides. And again, you can expect a few stray showers coming in from time to time with those lighter winds blowing in at 10 to 15. And because of those lighter winds, surf conditions will be good. And heads up, we are expecting a big swell to start picking up this afternoon. By tomorrow, we could see a high surf advisory posted for South Shores. Not a whole lot happening on any other shore. And the choppiness on the east side should get better with the lighter winds. So we've got a nice run of weather today and to some extent tomorrow, although there will be a few more stray passing showers. Most of the rain should be of the light variety. Things change when that disturbance approaches Friday night into Saturday. Saturday is going to be a first alert weather day, especially for the east end of the state. Hawaii Island and Maui County could see some heavy rainfall that could lead to flooding. And then after that, by Mother's Day, things should be settling down.
It was a terrifying night for thousands of people in the path of powerful twisters in the Midwest. Tornadoes were spotted in Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio, with extensive damage reported. Dave Malkoff is following the storms.
Crews are searching demolished buildings in Portage, Michigan to make sure no one is trapped in the rubble after 2 confirmed tornadoes inflicted extensive damage in the small town Tuesday night.
Your house being there 1 second and then the next thing you know, it's just, you can't live there anymore.
Isaiah Erickson lost all his possessions, but the area had no reports of deaths or serious injuries. Across the Midwest, twisters hit a number of communities overnight, including Milroy, Indiana, and Salina, Ohio. In Barnsdall, Oklahoma, an EF4 tornado took out neighborhoods up to 70 homes on Monday night.
It's going to take a while to clean all this up because we are still surrounded by debris everywhere. Things like this wooden beam right here that were swirling around in the winds 170 miles an hour.
It feels devastating to look at this when you've worked your whole life.
Jimmy Blake rode out the storm in a shelter with her grandson and other family members.
I prayed in the car 3 times. It was overwhelming.
Despite the damage, she is grateful.
To know that I'm safe, my husband's safe, my mother's safe, and my 8-year-old grandson's safe, and so are all of my animals. I'm very thankful for that.
Forecasters say the storm threat moves mid-south today, where tornadoes, damaging wind, and flooding are all possible. Dave Malkoff, CBS News, Barnsdall, Oklahoma.
The Vatican has sworn in dozens of new recruits to protect Pope Francis. The soldiers are a part of the Swiss Guard, founded back in 1506 by Pope Julius II. CBS's Ian Lee reports on the long-standing tradition of protecting the pontiff.
A vision of the past comes into focus as trumpeters herald a 500-year-old tradition. For Maximilian Fischer, joining the Swiss Guard this week is a childhood dream come true.
My mom always made these jokes that when I was older I could go to the Swiss Guards because I was Swiss.
It's the smallest, most colorful, and exclusive army in the world. Members must be Swiss men who are Catholic, aged 19 to 30, standing at least 5'8", with impeccable character. Fischer is one of 34 new recruits, raising 3 fingers, symbolizing the Trinity, to swear loyalty to the Pope.
That I would give my life for the Pope because that is a big part of why I'm here. I'm here to protect the Pope.
The guards paraded through St. Peter's Square in front of tourists, dignitaries, and the pontiff himself. Pope Francis gave a warm greeting to his new guards and their families. The Swiss Guard acts less like an army and more like the U.S. Secret Service, scanning the crowds for any threats. But don't be confused by their baggy pants, armor, and medieval halberds. This is very much a modern military.
Obviously, we look very medieval in this kind of attire, but we do have modern weapons, we do have modern technologies.
The 135-strong force keeps one eye on the past, with the other protecting the Pope into the future. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Well, a rather unique vehicle is up for sale. Whether it's a little red wagon or a car, it is completely legal to drive on the street. CNN's Jeannie Mose reports.
For sale, not a station wagon, but a little red wagon that grew into a big red wagon that goes 60 miles an hour. Mileage just over 57,000. Basic interior with 2 seats and a steering wheel made out of a garden cart wheel.
I'll miss it, and I'll miss the fun of driving it. It's just so much fun to take somebody for a ride and seeing people's reactions to you.
Oh my God, it's amazing! I love it! Other cars sometimes even follow it.
Then we started yelling at our grandma to drive after it.
Hey, you want to sell it? Now owner Judy Foster does. Her husband built the Radio Flyer 14 years ago on the chassis of this 1976 Mazda pickup. When Judy's husband recently passed away, she decided it was time to pass on the wagon. It's up for auction at Alaska Premier Auctions. Co-owner Nick Klein says, why buy an expensive Ferrari?
This one will get you more eyeballs than any of those at a fraction of the price.
They're guesstimating $10,000 to $15,000. 8-foot handle included. Its 4-cylinder Mazda engine runs on regular gas. In the movie Radio Flyer, 2 brothers turned their wagon into an airplane. In real life, at least a handful of fans have built their own Radio Flyer cars.
Just riding in a Radio Flyer wagon makes me feel younger.
Judy was even invited to drive her Flyer around the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
You made that?
Yeah.
All right. I've laughed and said you can't be in the witness protection program and ride in the car.
If you're craving attention, hitch your wagon to this star. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.